was a mistake he
Maybe
did.
1 minute, please.
I learned from his mistake and didn't study a useless profession like engineering.
Oh.
And I knew the crowd would go dead silent because half the people here are engineers, including, I know, most of his friends over in the corner there. No disrespect intended. Me and Khaled, you know, we've always had this thing where we lash back at each other. And just really quickly, I want to say, Khaled, he drove a Civic for like, I don't know how long, 8 years. As soon as I get my Civic, he starts yelling at me for driving such a bad car. Even though this car got him from point A to point B every day for like 8 years. I'll never understand that. Khaled, honestly, I'm really saddened by the fact that I'll probably be seeing you less. But I know like it's important for you to get married and fulfill that obligation in your deen. And this brings me to Shahinda. Oh, Shahinda. What can I say about you? All men in this room know that pretty much all women are alike. I'm just kidding. But mashallah, honestly, there can never be a better match for Khaled than Shahinda. They're both very well educated, mashallah. They're both actually have very witty personalities, and they're both steadfast in their religion. And they also share, I have to admit, a very lame sense of humor. Cheesiest jokes in the world. And subhanAllah, if you actually look closely enough, you'll notice a resemblance. Honestly, I think they look a little bit alike. But Shahinda, from the bottom of my heart, I just want to say welcome to the family. And I want to kind of go back and remind you of a verse in the Quran which was actually Mustafa recited earlier today. وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُم مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. And like I said, I think the most important part of this verse is the last sentence. You know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He has created you so you may live you know, with tranquility and affection and mercy between the two of you. And with that said, I know all married couples here, I mean, it's no secret that marriages have their ups and their downs. So inshallah, anytime an issue arises, I want you to remember this verse and remember that there are sacrifices. And I want you to remember tonight especially, because I think this is a night that you'll never forget. And I think that when you do remember it, you'll kind of drop everything else. And Shahinda, if for some reason I thought that would happen, if Khaled is still being difficult, because sometimes he can be, just give me a call and I'll take care of him. I've started working out recently and I flex, but my shirt would probably rip. So I think that's for everyone's best interest that I don't do that. Okay, so sorry, I told you, I warned you it was long. So my parents have actually always encouraged us to speak Arabic whenever we can. And honestly, I have to apologize because we don't do that probably as often as we can. So now that I'm pretty much done my speech in English, I'll attempt the whole thing again in Arabic. And surprisingly enough, everything I said can actually be summed up in a few words. And I'm just gonna say bonne chance. And I don't know if I said it right, but basically what I'm trying to say is good luck, but in French. You might have noticed I said it in French. And I don't know why, but recently, Egyptians, you know, first it was mixing up the Arabic and the English, which they call like Arabish. And then now all of a sudden I start hearing all these French words in the middle of all these sentences. So I thought it was appropriate to say that in French. Obviously I'm not going to say this whole thing in Arabic, but that would take years. As we all know, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blesses any gathering where He's remembered. And in light of this, this is going to be kind of a challenge for me, but I'd like to end by reciting Isma Allah al-Husna. And for the non-Muslims in the crowd, basically these are 99 names which are attributed to God, such as being merciful and forgiving and compassionate, etc., etc. Now, I didn't tell anyone I'd be doing this, and I actually just thought about it last night. So please forgive me in advance if I mess up. My heart's beating at like 100 miles per hour right now, so just give me a minute to relax and have something in my ear you might have noticed, just to try and keep me calm. And it's just a little beat so I don't get off track. نسألك يا من هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الرحمن الرحيم الملك القدوس السلام المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار المتكبر الخالق البارئ المصور الغفار القهار الوهاب الرزاق الفتاح العليم القابض الباسط الخافض الرافع المعز المذل السميع البصير الحكم العدل اللطيف الخبير الحليم العظيم الغفور الشكور العلي الكبير الحفيظ المقيت الحسيب الجليل الكريم الرقيب المجيب الواسع الحكيم الودود المجيد الباعث الشهيد الحق الوكيل القوي المتين الولي الحميد المحسن المبدئ المعيد المحيي المميت الحي القيوم الواجد الماجد الواحد الصمد القادر المقتدر المقدم المؤخر الأول الآخر الظاهر الباطن الوالي المتعالي البر التواب المنتقم العفو الرؤوف مالك الملك ذو الجلال والإكرام المقسط الجامع الغني المغني المانع ضار نافع النور الهادي بديع الباقي الوارث الرشيد الصبور الذي ليس كمثله شيء وهو السميع البصير اللهم صل أفضل صلاة على أسعد مخلوقاتك سيدنا محمد وسلم عدد معلوماتك ومداد كلماتك كلما ذكرك الذاكرون وغفل عن ذكرك الغافلون. Actually, I kind of lied. I'm not quite done yet. I'm almost there, though. I'm almost there. This is just. Oh no, here we go. So, the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam actually said in a hadith that the world is filled with pleasure, and the best pleasure of this world is finding a righteous woman. And so, Khalid, that feeling you feel inside you right now, that's because right now you're the happiest man in the world. And which basically just means that it can only go downhill from here. Inshallah, I pray for you that this doesn't happen. And so I'll end like everyone else did tonight. بارك الله لكما وبارك عليكما وجمع بينكما في خير.